Sports Shots catching up with Brackley Town Saints manager Chris Hurley after Saturday's 2-3 home defeat to West Bridgford in the FA Vase. Chris, it's been about an hour now since the game finished. Everybody's had a chance to calm down. What's your assessment of your side's performance today?
Frustration, missed chances. The first 20 minutes we were superb. Personally thought that we went one up quite quick, which was good. We were on top. I think if we'd have taken the 2 or 3 one-on-ones we had in that point, I think the game would have been different. We would have been 3 up by that stage. Unfortunately, we didn't take the chances. They then got back into the game. They scraped an equaliser from our keeper's mistake. Unfortunately, he's dropped it. And then the second one, we lost the ball in front of the goal. They crossed it. He's had a great shot to go 2-1 up. But the spirit in the team is really good. We're frustrated today and we're down today, but the spirit in general is really good. So we got it back to 2 each. And then I think there's only 1 team in it. But again, it gets to extra time. The players are tired and we've leaked one at the end, So it's, frustration.
There must be a few despondent faces in that dressing room after the game. What have you had to say to them?
There's lots. After a loss, I always do a post-match debrief with the players before they warm down. I think it's important to get the points across. Also, I think it's important that if players have got comments to make and they want to fire out some arguments, I think it's important to get it out then. So, there's a lot of players in there really feeling down because it's our target was really FA Cup, FA Vase. So we were at the FA Cup, we're now at the FA Vase. So there's some frustrated faces, but Monday is important to get the players, lift the players again. And then Wednesday is important to lift the players again. Big game next Saturday. So I've told them that, keep the heads up. We are frustrated, but we need to go again next week.
It must have been 2 different dressing rooms, the one at half-time compared to after the game, because at half-time, 1 up, you're looking fairly comfortable. You mentioned the chances that you'd had. You could have been out of sight at half-time, in all fairness. So the lads must have been pretty confident coming out for the second half that they were just going to kill the game off.
Yeah, and that's why I think we lacked that experience. We were a very young side. I think people didn't realise that, my job is about development. I'd love to say it's about winning everything, but it is really about development. So when you've got 3 seniors in a squad of 18, you've got 3 seniors, so you've got 15 young lads, and that age that ranges from 17 to 22 and a few 23-year-olds. So they make mistakes. You constantly have to try and coach them and help them. But they make mistakes, and 2 sloppy mistakes. The young Matt is a really good goalkeeper. He's only just 18. He's been fantastic, but he came out for a ball he should have caught. He didn't. He dropped it, and then gave away a goal. And the defensive errors in front of our goal caused the second one. So it was a different change of rooms, but that's a learning curve. When you've got young players, you're going to go through those difficult stages. To be fair.
You mentioned taking that early lead. That was a great finish from Ryan Knight in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You must be pleased with his goals this season.
Yeah, Ryan Knight is a bit of an enigma. Sometimes he's fantastic, and sometimes he's not quite on it. When he's on it, which was today, was very, very good. I mean, he was the first one that came into me at half-time and apologised that he had a one-on-one chance he didn't take because he really wants to do well for the team and he wants to score. So I am really pleased with him, but it's the little things. It's those little things we need to work on. If he's one of the seniors and he's taking his chances, I think we win games. We win more games.
It was really strange, the chances you missed, because before the game, with the warm-up, with the shooting practice they had on the pitch, I stood next to the goal and the poor under-18 keeper you had in, he didn't know which one to try and catch first. But they were all shooting on, they were finishing really, really well. And then they just couldn't take that into the game for some reason. What can you put that down to?
Sometimes some people feel under pressure in a game scenario. When you do it in training, and you do these things in the warm-up, it's easy. You're under no pressure. It's not a live situation. Sometimes in a game scenario, when you have a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, it's literally just you one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Experienced players will have that composure, have that half a second just to take a breath, and they pick a corner. Sometimes at this level, with players that are not professional, they will snatch at chances. And I do stats for every game, and I've looked at stats at half time, and we had 4 one-on-one chances, which is poor on our behalf. To have 4 one-on-ones and not take them, potentially you could be 4-0 up. and that's the difference between us at the moment and us going forward.
The keeper's made a couple of good saves there, hasn't he? On those one-on-ones, the keeper's done his job.
Yes, but at the same time, I only look at it from my perspective. I think when you're going on one-on-one, if you actually pick a corner, most keepers come out and just try to block an area. If you pick a corner at pace, we do an exercise in training where we have the goal. We don't have a goalkeeper, but we have cones. You have the goal itself, and you have 2 cones in the corner. And depending on where you are, you pick out a cone. So you're always picking out a target. And I think sometimes if players do that more, rather than thinking about the keeper or the goal, think about the target, aim at the target with power, you score. But unfortunately today, you say they were good one-on-ones, but I was behind 3 of them. They're at the goalkeeper.
The report tomorrow is just going to read that you've been knocked out by a team from Step 6. You're obviously Step 5. What did you think of West Bridgford? What did you think of them as a team?
Yeah, they're a good battling side. They're a good, committed battling side.
They've come into this game on not a very good run of form, but it just looked like a totally different team to what I imagined from looking up, their last 6 results. I think they've had 5 defeats or something like that. But that didn't look like a team low in confidence today. They battled for absolutely every ball.
Yeah, but then it's the FA Vase, and when it's a cup game, people lift themselves. We're on an interesting run. I think we're playing well. We're playing well in virtually every game we played at. Apart from one game, I think we were really poor over at Bishop Cleeve. We played well in every game. We haven't got the result because we make silly mistakes. But I think if we cut out our mistakes, we win more games. And I think today, if we'd have cut out our mistakes and taken those chances, because we had an abundance of chances, the game is out of sight. So I appreciate they're a step 5, a step below us. But I think the difference between the 2 teams in terms of ability was showing. The difference in terms of created chances was showing. The difference between us and them today, we didn't take our chances. They had 4 chances. They took the 3 out of the 4 that they had.
So this defeat today means you've 1 win in 8, 10th in the Hellenic League. What have you got to do to turn it round and improve?
Well, lift the morale, because the morale is difficult. Even though I think that the spirit in the group is good, every time you lose a game, it chips away at your morale a little bit. And so the morale tonight will be poor or difficult, as it were. But Monday, we lift the players again. We've got an important game to go after next Saturday. The league's our big target now to go after next Saturday. I think once you get to the games and you've gone through a good Q2 sessions training and you've spoken to players, I think that the players will be fine. The technique with the players is good. The ability with the players is good. It's just trying to harness that on a match day to get the results. And I think if, again, we're taking those chances that we constantly create, I think we kill games off.
I looked this morning before today. This season so far, you've used 26 different players. Is that a hindrance to trying to get a settled team?
That's a really good question. I'll say it's a yes and a no. I think a little bit, again, I keep stressing that my goal at Brackley is development, and it's about developing players. So we will constantly keep using players because we have to use the under 18s that are coming through to help develop them, blood them through, give them some men's football time. So that would bring in football players. We have an agreement to rotate the 3 we have every month. So this month I've already got another 3 young players coming up. But on top of that, we've had lots of injuries. I don't know if it's a freak, but this year we've had, at one stage we had 10 injuries out of senior players. So we've had to use lots and lots of the youth players coming up, and that's kind of cost us a little bit, because the performances will be difficult. And our focus has really been on the FA Cup, FA Vase, and the league. The cup games that we've lost, they're on the record. I agree, but the goal always was to blood the youth. So you're putting out, I wouldn't say a weakened team, but you're putting out a team that wouldn't be your normal team. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get difficult results. So when you've got potentially 3, 4, 5, 6 youth team players in who don't normally play, they're going to struggle a little bit. So, in fact, the only 2 league games which I would say that we were poor in was Long Levens. We lost 2-0 at home, but we battered them for 90 minutes, but it was 2 mistakes. And Bishop Cleeve away, we were really off it that day and we lost badly. But the rest of the games we've done really well, and the games we've lost has really been down to us. Westfield last week, they're top of the table, but we matched them. It was 2 mistakes. One was a quick free kick we didn't pick up. Keeper meant to make a save. He's parried it to them. They tapped it in. Second goal, we passed it to him. We passed it across the pitch. He's ran on and intercepted it, ran on and scored. So it's 2 silly goals. But in general, I think we batter teams, we match teams. I don't think our results aren't showing how good we are.
Yeah. The last few games you've played, you seem to be playing a lot of away games. It must be nice to get back to St James's Park, and you're at home again next week. You must be coming up due a run of home games, surely.
Well, hopefully, because at home we play a bit more expansive. It's a big, lovely pitch. I mean, it's no surprise today we played with a midfield 5, with the 2 wing backs really expressing themselves, getting on, and we had a lot of joy to play. We had a lot to play in the first half. We were really on top, really on top. We only changed it because they went to a 4-3-3. We were getting overrun in certain areas, so we kind of changed the shape a little bit. And I think second half, first 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe we didn't adjust to the change of shape. That might have then given the 2 goals back. But again, we were still on top. So yeah, it will be good to get a run of home games so we can get a run of, I think, better results. I do expect us to do well next week against Windsor. And I expect us to do well going forward at home.
Decent support you get here as well, don't you?
Well, the support is fantastic, and it's the one thing about the club that we're taking steps to also introduce more people to the football club. I mean, this week we purposely advertised it everywhere. You back on?
Can we?
We purposely advertised it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We advertise it everywhere because we want to get more people through the gate. I think it's good when you've got a good following. It's good for the club, good for the players. I think going forward, if we can keep that on a regular basis, it'd be good to have support.
And just one last question, I must ask you, what is wrong with your wife's music?
Well, as mentioned before, 2 or 3 of my players have said the Gaffer's music is shocking. They've used some different words. Let's just get it right. My music is fantastic. You know, I'm 70s boy, 80s boy. I love my house music. Unfortunately, the one game I didn't have my music. I had some SoundCloud Polish nonsense. The players have never let me forget it since. So moving forward, my music is fine.
So you're going home to Disney on Ice, yeah?
Frozen.
Okay, well, commiseration is on today, but thank you very much for your time.
No problem, thanks.